today we're going to see a fantastic game between Atishay versus Rwick. So Rwick was the champion in the first KingCompiler internal chess tournament, and Atishay was the only man to beat Rwick. So let's see this fantastic game. So the game starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. He played the Italian opening. So Rwick plays bishop c5, knight c3, pretty good opening. So bishop e3 is, yeah. Now here Rwick could have played bishop g4 to pin the knight and put pressure here. I think instead of castle he could have played h3 to prevent the bishop g4, so that bishop g4 would not able to come and there is no more pin, right? So I think when Atishay played castle, Rwick can easily able to do bishop g4 and pin the knight. So here he putting more pressure. Now if he captures this, then he can easily capture the bishop, and there's still the pressure will be there, right? So after castle, the bishop g4 was the best move, but instead he played bishop e6. I think here he could have easily captured. Now if f cross e6, bishop cross, knight cross, pawn cross, and here he can easily play knight e2, attacking this pawn. And if he plays c5, then we can easily play f4, and f4 was not a good move because knight g4 is coming and putting a pressure here. So instead white could have played easily c3. Now after capture, he is controlling the center. It's a pretty good position for white, but okay, in this position he didn't capture. Instead he played bishop b3. He castle, then again he can easily play bishop g4, again give a same threat is coming, but he captures. And knight e4 was a good move to attack this bishop and give a threat, but instead he played knight d5. It was a very dubious move. He played c6. Okay, knight cross, queen cross. Now here he can easily able to exchange his bishop. Instead he played rook e1, but I think he could have easily played this. This is coming, and knight g4, g5, then queen g6, then we can easily play f4, and we're pretty controlling the center. But here he played rook e1, maybe planning for e5 threat. He played queen g6. It's a pretty good idea that he's planning to play bishop h3 and put a pressure on here on g2. Atishay played g6, g3, bishop h3, knight h4. I think black is becoming better. I think here he could have easily played something like queen g5, because if you play f4, then I can easily play something like. Now what is happening, we can easily control the white's squares, right? Because the white bishop is in this diagonal and the black can easily control the light squares. Okay, so after knight h4 he played queen f6. Now queen f3, white is trying to exchange his queen. Okay, I didn't understand why he played h6. h6 is not a h6 was a good move, but instead he played king h8. Is a blunder. Why? Because you see there's already pressure is there. Now the knight can also come, and he played the good move, Atishay, because he's attacking the bishop as well as he's attacking this pawn on f7 with the help of the bishop and knight. If he plays bishop e6, now he can easily capture f cross e6 bishop cross e6, and Atishay is already a pawn up. Then Rwick played rook a e8, bishop b3, okay, is all good move. h6, okay, it's also okay move. In g2, h7, f3. I think f4 is also a good move, right? But I've played f4 as well, right? But f3, okay. In g6, c3, d cross c3, b cross c3, b6, bishop b6. Then okay, now he's trying to put on threat of by playing a4, but I didn't understand why Rwick plays a5. I think easily if he can play this bishop a5 and put a pressure on this pawn, and he cannot move the pawn because there's a pin. So black could have given us some pressure here. Okay, so here he played a5, which is not a good move. Now he played rook a d1. Okay, he wants to bring all his pieces and activated them. That's a good idea. King g5, h3, h5, h4, g6, king h3. That is not a good move because he is losing the pawn here, and Rwick got the pawn back. Now it is now actually slightly better for black. Now black has become better. Now Atishay made a good planning, I must say, even though the position is pretty equal, but he made a good planning. Rook f1, rook ff8, rook captures rook, rook captures rook, and here Atishay could have played rook b1, but Atishay's planning was pretty much to checkmate the king, bring the bishop, and rook f5, and this is the planning. So he played g4, trying to attack on the king side, but actually he missed something because after check he's completely losing his pawn. Okay, so Rwick missed this and he played rook. Okay, actually he played rook f3. So after king g2, okay, he got the pawn. Now black is totally better. Now after rook f1, simply he could have easily captured this, but in this move Rwick made the blunder. Rook cross d3, and he played bishop f7, check, king moves, and rook f5, rook h5, checkmate is coming. Threat is coming, but after rook f5 he can easily play g6, pretty much winning for black. But here Atishay played c4, and another mistake he did is rook a3. Now Rwick, I don't know why he trying to kill this pawn, because he already pawn up. He should focus on exchanging the rook. He played rook f5, and there's another blunder, rook cross a4, and he's a checkmate. It's a pretty good game, but both of them made a blunder, and eventually white wins the game.